Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is my number one motherfucker, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
Good, buddy. Good.
You got the hat and necklace on? Is that, you have it at least in the background somewhere?
I do got the necklace back there. You can't see it, though.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I'll figure it out.
Glad to hear that's still in tow and not you're being chased by a murderer. Also with us this week is a very special guest from the Pint, a pop culture podcast, one of our favorites, and probably a close second, motherfucker. John, Mr. John Amenta, how are you, sir?
I'll take it. Absolutely. I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. Thank you for having me back on.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you didn't, get angry that Shane might be a slightly better motherfucker. I just see him every week. It's just how I work.
It's okay. Like, guys like me have to live on Earth with guys that like have Shane's looks and physical abilities, and he's like the white AC Slater. He's
it's true.
Perfect. I could deal with it.
Excellent. And I agree. That's why we do an audio podcast, so we could stay on equal footing. I just can't take it. You and Lloyd also have that, because he has that silver fox dynamic that you just can't overcome.
It's in my podcasting contract that I have to podcast with good-looking guys.
Yeah.
So Shane fills in for Lloyd today.
Yeah. That's why you don't turn the AC on in your house. You just let everybody go, down to their skivvies and rock and roll. Yeah.
So sometimes I get lost in Lloyd's sweat dribbles. Sitting across the table from me, I see a little bit of sweat running down his brow, and and he's like, "John, what is your opinion of Caddyshack?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Love it. You seem to run a podcast like Alfred Molina and Boogie Nights. That's what I picture you as. Like, just down to the underwear, lighting off fireworks.
Little Asian guy.
Lines of cocaine. It's just perfect.
His name is Cosmo.
Wonderful. Can't wait to be back on, John, with that environment. I appreciate you for being here, though. This is awesome. You seem to be, it's weird, like, your podcast, it covers the gamut, right? It could be Van Damuary or whatever you got going on. You got, your horror series with Larry or whatever you got going on. But somehow now you've been kind of pigeonholed as the horror guy at So Wizard.
Well, I think the thing is Aubrey doesn't like horror stuff.
Yes.
And between me and Stu, I think we kind of get called in for the horror stuff. So, and I don't mind, because I enjoy horror movies. I enjoy going to see horror movies,
Right. Yeah, you put in the mouth guard, get off the bench, unsnap the pants, and you're just good to go. So I appreciate that you can come on and kind of do that for us now, too, because you got between your Scary Larry stuff, the So Wizard stuff, and going out to these like Connecticut Classics that I'll see you at, where it's a lot of that is all horror stuff, horror double features and everything else. It seems like you consume probably more horror than most these days.
My letterbox will tell you that for the last several years.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is for the podcast, because, we do have the awesome benefit of having Scary Larry on. But yeah, like as a kid, I was always into horror movies as much as a kid is into horror movies.
Right.
I enjoyed them. And I enjoyed them through my adult life. I would, but I wasn't like, I was never, I know a lot of people that are like, I don't like horror movies.
Right.
I always liked horror movies. And some of the movies that are my favorites might be considered horror.
Right.
Like Jaws. I'm a huge Jaws fan. Jaws is a horror movie, essentially.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, once I met Larry, I and sometimes, you think like you're too old in life to like kind of get into something new. But like meeting Larry like 7 or 8 years ago, and having him on the show and doing shows with him has really opened my appreciation of horror as a genre. I'm not like to the level of him or some of the guys he runs with, and gals he runs with, but like I'm much more willing to watch some of the classic stuff that I had never seen before. And quite a bit of it is very good. There's some of it that's real shit, but there's quite a bit that's really good.
Yeah, but there's some fun in the shit too, of course.
And there's just some shit in the shit too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I just more mean like, especially with those Connecticut Classic ones where it's like, if you're seeing a shitty movie with friends and it's kind of, you're enjoying the campy shittiness of it, that kind of helps.
There is a point though where it gets turned off. Larry a couple years ago had a maybe 2 or 3 years ago. At this point, it was after the pandemic. He did a trauma night,
Yes.
and fuck. I as a kid I liked the Toxic Avenger, and I realized why when I saw it as an adult is because there was just tits in that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. So now I realize, probably as like a 9-year-old, I was probably just whacking off all over the place. Right. So then I see it as an adult, and he paired it with Class of Nukem High. And I look forward to Larry's shows, and I look forward to seeing my friends there. And I couldn't wait to go home that night. I fucking hated it.
Right. Those are the ones that, like, if you put those trailers in the beginning, you'd be like, this is a great time. But like watching the whole movie is like, ooh, yeah. And this is coming from a person myself, which, by the way, for us, we've been talking Inside Baseball. When we refer to Larry, it's Scary Larry Dwyer. He runs, the Connecticut Horror Fest, Connecticut Cult Classics, has every horror thing known to man, also was in Hatebreed. Whatever credit he wants to go by, I'll give it to him. He's had a very charmed life. Sorry. So to put my trauma cred out there, I not only have bought the books, especially the ones that tell you how to do their practical effects stuff and whatever, but I actually got that book and several DVDs from Lloyd Kaufman, the head of Trauma himself, because he invited myself and a friend of mine. We were in high school. We went down and went to this French film festival where they were premiering I forgot which Toxic Avenger one it was, but it was the one with Corey Feldman was in it. Jesus. So like it was this whole big to-do for a premiere and everything. So I've been like at Trauma Studios. I've seen the behind the scenes. I've spoken to the man. He went to Yale, so he's kind of in the Connecticut circle of sorts with that too. And yeah, I'd still feel you. If I had to do a double feature now as an adult, I'd be like, God damn it.
He seems like a great guy, and people love his product, and I can't, man, that was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
But to your credit, with the boobiness of all things, like there's, if I had, thank God I had Tromeo and Juliet on DVD instead of tape, because it would have snapped probably like in this one scene that I just watched over and over as a teenager. So yeah, I'm with you. But I feel like we're, burying the lead here. We are here to talk horror. That's kind of why we've been bringing up horror left and right. We're going to kind of do a horror 2024 mid-year check-in. We have 5 movies on deck to talk about in terms of at least pocket reviews, if not like one more in depth, probably right here up top. So, but John, I kind of wanted to pick your brain before I get to Shane here. What do you think of the horror year so far? You seem to have watched quite a few. You kind of know what's been out there. Maybe what ones you avoided also probably speaks to how the year has gone. How do you think we are now, especially with a few movies probably coming up that I'm looking forward to that might bolster the year as it goes along?
I think from what I'm seeing trailer wise, there's stuff coming out that I probably will enjoy more.
Mm-hmm.
The first half hasn't been great for what I've seen.
Right.
Now that being said, I did not see, and I know, you're going to talk about it, the First Omen, which I heard was good.
Right.
Without you guys saying.
Sure.
I have not seen Immaculate, which I heard was good.
Right.
But some of the things I saw were either disappointing or pretty much par for what I expected.
Right.
So far it's been okay. But nothing there's nothing that I've seen to this point that really is like blown my mind yet. There's stuff I've enjoyed, but like nothing that's blown my mind.
Gotcha. And now, did you avoid Immaculate and Omen because this is like a deep-seated religious, thing? Or have you seen the other Omen movies or anything?
The original Omen for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the second one at some point. I never saw the one with Sam Neill.
You don't need to.
Yeah, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I did not see Immaculate because I don't want to be arrested for jerking off in a movie theater.
Yes.
Because Sydney Sweeney's in it, and
yes,
I saw the one scene in the trailer where she's like laying in like a pool of water in like a white gown.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know what you could see through that. And I don't want to be dragged out of a movie theater, getting hit over the head with a baton by some usher trying to stop me from ravaging myself.
It's close.
Yeah.
I could just see you as like the last guy, like when Anyone But You's already on Netflix and it's still a movie theater. Somehow you found the last theater that's still playing it, and you're just like, just sitting in the back row.
I didn't see that one because I'm not really a big rom-com guy, and
Sure.
also because the sexual power of Glenn Powell and her together might make my testicles explode out of my body.
Exactly.
I don't want to deal with that.
Absolutely. Shane, how about you, buddy? How you feeling? You watch probably even, we always check in like how many movies we watch, and I wonder how many more were horror movies that I've watched, because you've started to watch them with your daughter too and everything else. So in your expertise, how are you feeling about the year so far?
Honestly, it's a little slow start overall, but on par with last year around the same time this year, because last year you had like the Scream movie, you had She Came from the Woods, you had Megan early on in the year.
Yeah. Yep.
This year it's kind of the same. I'm with John. None of them like blew me away as far as horror movies go, and there's some really shitty ones like Night Swim, which I watched on Peacock, and Imaginary was god awful.
You even said that wasn't really a horror movie.
It's not. It really isn't. But then you have some enjoyable ones like Abigail and Founders Day, which I liked. So, I mean, it's a mixed bag so far this year.
Yeah, I'd probably say, Late Night with the Devil was a pleasant surprise. Abigail, you mentioned. We've talked about Arcadian, Immaculate, and some of the other ones that we kind of like that are in the horror genre that we've kind of gone to. It's an interesting thing. I agree with what you guys are saying, but I think this year overall has been lukewarm for the most part, outside of like a few real standouts. So I've started to kind of put together like a list of like my favorite movies of the year, and I'd say it's weird that there's more horror on here than I expected, considering that I agree with you that I think it's off to a slow start.
Right.
So, but again, every article you read on Variety or, some aggregator like Dark Horizons or whoever you go to, everything is just, hey, the box office is down. Hey, this movie fucking didn't meet expectations, or so everything is doom and gloom. So I guess I shouldn't be shocked that, it's kind of leaking into this conversation as well, especially though. The only thing that's interesting, though, is that horror seems to be the one that everybody thought was bulletproof. Like that everybody goes to see these movies and they're, more and more are being made. And, so that way, like the product is getting better because there's more of them being made. This year has definitely not proven that to an extent. No. And especially like the Shudder variety of that, where like usually, once a year I'll kind of like subscribe to Shudder to kind of like inhale a bunch of like the originals or things that I've seen, advertised around. But now, John, we were talking about it off screen. Like it's kind of like if they think it's a good movie, it probably goes to the movie theaters, and I'll probably end up watching it there before I even get to Shudder. And then the ones that go direct to Shudder have been kind of terrible lately.
A lot of them, yeah. And like you said, the ones that they think they have a shot with, like so far this year, like Late Night with the Devil, In a Violent Nature, Stop Motion.
I think Shane hated Stop Motion.
Oh, God damn, I hated that movie.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Baghead, these all jumped out to the theaters to kind of get some traction, and then, then go to Shudder after a certain amount of time.
Right.
It's a decent model, get the movie out to more people. But yeah, there are, it's lesser than Netflix, but there are also just a lot of Shudder originals that don't ever get off of Shudder.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why, for the most part. I've seen a few good ones, but for the most part, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, When Evil Lurks was that same thing from last year, where it was like, this Argentinian horror movie that ended up in movie theaters, and you're like, what is going on here? And then Shane and I both liked it. I think Shane liked it even more than I did.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was good. But it's like a one-time viewing kind of movie. Like, I've seen it once.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to see it again.
I enjoyed that.
I don't need to see it again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that guy's other movie, Terrified.
Okay.
The same guy made Terrified a few years ago, and I thought that was that was a Shudder original as well.
Okay.
And then I saw the trailers for Evil Lurks, and I wanted to see it, but like it's one of those movies where I got to be like, like sometimes horror with a comedy element or horror with a lighter element, you just jump right into, and then sometimes there's movies like that where it just looks like, oh, this is going to be heavy. It's going to be very
It's
heavy.
one of those, and I'm not speaking for Shane, but I think he can kind of agree with me. It's one of those movies that if you get past the first 20 minutes of what the fuck is going on here kind of stuff, the rest of the movie is worthy of the ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So just know that if you do jump on board. So let's jump right into the 2024 stuff that seemed to come out in the last few weeks, or people that are really kind of getting into it in the last few weeks. Let's start up top with the one that came out this weekend wide, In a Violent Nature, which is an interesting movie. It's you rarely get to see a Sundance Film Festival horror movie released wide like this. This is about when a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurned on by a horrific 60-year-old crime. His body is resurrected and becomes hell-bent on retrieving it. Saw this trailer a bunch of times, got pretty solid reviews coming out of Sundance, still has a decent amount of solid scores out there, like an 87 Rotten Tomato, though 44% Rotten Tomato audience, so it is kind of divided a little bit. I am actually surprised, especially because it is horror, that the critics have been more on its side than even the people, which is interesting. This is not many stars in here. The only thing that's interesting, and maybe John caught it, because you've done the Friday the 13th rewatch. Do you know?
I didn't catch it on the viewing. I caught it when I was reading about it after.
Okay.
Because she looks very different, but yeah.
She looked familiar to me, and I was like, wait a minute. And then, and then I researched it afterwards. So I don't want to seem like I went up to you and caught it in the moment. The woman driver at the end of the movie, who picks up the quote final girl, whatever, is played by Lauren Marie Taylor, who played Vicky in Friday the 13th Part 2. And then
Vicky who wants to have sex with the guy in the wheelchair and puts on a shiny pair of gold panties to entice him.
Yes. This is written and directed by Chris Nash. This is kind of like his first real foray. Stars Rye Barrett as Johnny, who I guess is the name of our killer here. Andrea Pavlovic as Chris. Lauren Marie Taylor, like I mentioned, as just credited as the woman. So not many people listed on here. John, I reached out to you to come on here, and I love you to death, and I know what you gave this as a score because you put it on Letterboxd, and that's how I knew you saw it and can invite you on. I am going to save myself for last because I apologize for what I'm about to do to this movie that you gave a much better score. So, John, put it out there for me. What was your experience with watching the movie? How'd you like it? It's a very unique movie. I can at least say that.
I had a hell of a time. I enjoyed it. Scary Larry, my buddy, who we talked about, I had a discussion with him today on Facebook. Another friend had posted that he liked it, a mutual friend of ours, and Larry just responded to it with, it was poop. And and I messaged and said, I commented and said, I enjoyed this as well. And then Larry just commented poop on mine. I did not feel like this was poop. I felt like this was a movie that knew its runtime. It knew what it was trying to do. It's not a scary horror movie in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But it's a gory horror movie. It's got memorable kills. It does a thing that you don't get too often anymore, where it introduces a slasher character that now, has this unique look, this mask, where he's clearly ready for the NECA action figure. It's basically a Jason story all over again.
It is.
In a way. The gimmick is what people are going to have a hard time with. And the gimmick is it's third person following him everywhere. And yes, there are some scenes that are him just walking through the woods, but I liked bits of that. I liked that opening scene where he walks through the woods and comes upon the ranger and the gun nut guy fighting.
Right.
And then we hear them fighting, and that should be the focal point of the scene. But instead we follow him as he goes in the house and does all this stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I had a good time. Part of the reason I had a good time is because it was an hour and a half long, or an hour and 40 minutes long. I left the theater thinking to myself that the last 15 or 20 minutes, I didn't know if I loved it or not.
Right.
But the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. And, if we're going to kind of get spoilery, it builds a lot of tension by introducing the woman character,
Right.
who in every other horror movie would end up being like his mom.
Right.
And she's there to get the final girl and bring him to Johnny so he could fuck her to death or something.
Right.
And you know, we may or may not go that way.
Right.
To maintain a little bit better of non-spoiler. I like the way they went with it. I felt like the only scary part of the entire movie, scary-wise, was that scene at the end where she's running through the woods in total darkness. Because, again, there's the tension of, is he going to jump out at her?
Right.
Some of the kills were incredible. The yoga girl kill with the chain was fucking awesome.
So,
I don't know if I've ever seen someone get turned inside out with their own head before.
So again, without putting my whole thoughts or anything, my favorite part of the viewing experience when I watched this movie was that scene, because there was a whole row of people behind me, and as soon as the kill happens, again, I won't spoil how it goes, the fucking dudes behind me at the same time go, fatality! Just scream, because it's such a ridiculous death that it looks like Mortal Kombat more than it looks like a slasher movie.
Yeah, there's several. I mean, he uses a log splitter on a guy at one point. That's just fucking insane.
Yeah.
But I just had a good time with this movie. It's not frightening. It's gory. They do a good job of building tension. I think, yes, the gimmick with the camera following him around is, you know, it'll either make it or break it for some people. But I walked away from this movie in the theaters knowing it's a Shudder original, thinking to myself, when that drops on Shudder, I'll watch it again.
Okay.
So I enjoyed it.
Shane, where'd you land on this one, buddy?
Yeah, I wanted to like this movie so bad. I got caught up in the middle of probably where you and John are. Like, I liked the concept of it. I liked the way it was shot for the most part, like him walking through the woods and following him around. Didn't bother me. I thought, though, that gimmick kind of wore thin as the movie went on. You know, for this type of movie, I thought the dialogue and the acting were just like 1980s pornographic bad. But the kills make it worth it for sure. But like the yoga girl, best kill of the whole movie. But it kind of, like, I know this is a horror trope and I shouldn't piss me off, but she had time to turn around, look at him, and turn back, or just jump off the goddamn cliff or where the hell you're at.
All she had to do was go left or right.
Yeah,
it wasn't that hard. They're not in the middle of nowhere. It's woods.
And again, I wrote this outside and nitpick this, right? He's supposed to be, for lack of a better term these days, not so bright kid.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But he had the whereabouts. But he had the whereabouts to jam a stick on the horn and lure one guy out of the house. I'm like, I don't think so.
That's in my notes.
So like, yeah. But anyway, no, the kills were good. The story, total Friday 13th. Obviously, he was influenced by that movie a lot. I did like the very end though, because I really thought the woman, I was expecting her to start stabbing her or something. Like, it just ratcheted up that tension.
Right.
That was probably the best part of the movie besides the kills. I didn't like the mask because it reminded me of the Minions, and it just like took me out of everything. It just looked okay. He looked like the Minion. But I like the hook. I like his weapons. I like his little flannel shirt outfit. Like, it had a lot of good things going for it. I just thought the gimmick ran a little long, and it was an hour and a half, which is good. But at times it felt longer than an hour and a half. I'm like, all right, let's start wrapping this up a little bit. But overall,
right,
I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it, and I wanted to love this movie.
Yeah, I'm closer to you, Shane. I will put the positives out there first. I really did like most of the kills as far as like execution, the gore, and all that stuff. Obviously, as a kid who was born and raised watching slashers, especially all the Friday the 13th and everything else, I see what they're trying to go for. They're almost trying to deconstruct it a little bit and subvert it and everything else. It just didn't really work for me. Like, you really nailed certain parts of it. Obviously, first and foremost, anybody who's not the killer, fuck them all. Like, you got, like, I don't want any of them to survive. Even the woman at the end, like, you're going to tell me some boring ass story instead of like actually getting me to like a solid ending in this movie. I didn't give a shit about anything by that point. I was practically ready to walk out a little bit, quite frankly. But I had the same notes as you, Shane, where it's like, okay, so this guy is such a simpleton that he's sitting there playing with the little plastic car on the keychain when the keys get thrown at him, and he's supposed to be so childlike, but he's able to do the move where he, you know, does the wood and almost does like a a distraction so he can go and do other things. That's very well thought out for a guy who's supposed to be a fucking child's brain, whatever. And then the log splitting thing that we brought up, I'm like, oh, so he knows A, where that is, B, how to operate it, and doesn't care about the thing he's been chasing so long the entire movie that he takes the time out to slowly kill this guy with the log splitter, and even does a practice run. So good for him. He did all the maintenance. He did everything well. Good for him.
He knew it might not start in the first pull. It happened.
I know. And listen, if he knows, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's like, oh well, he's killed here before. He knows what's going on. He knows where stuff is. Like the ranger knows who he is. All that stuff. Cool. It's been so long, man. There's no fucking way that everything is exactly as he believed. I don't know, man. It just seemed a lot. But yeah, all the shitty ADR dialogue from a distance that they did that didn't sound like they did any work to make it sound like from a distance. And like it was just poor execution even on like some of the basics that just drove me crazy. Also, just for the two of you, quick question. Would the movie make more or less sense if they stole his pedometer / step counter instead of the necklace that I can't keep track of whatever story he's supposed to carry is so important?
Yeah, maybe his Apple Watch with his pedometer.
Yeah. I'm just worried about his health. He's weirdly not in good shape for a guy that we see walk constantly, which makes me so sad because I'm like, that's all I really have time to do for exercise. So like, am I going to end up looking as haggard and terrible? I don't know. It just might be because he's, the spirit of somebody and has been rotting in the ground for a while. So
70 years. Yeah, he looked pretty good for like 80 years old or 85.
Yeah. I just love how this killer is basically the "Where's my $2" kid from Better Off Dead, where it's like, you stole my necklace. Yes. I'm going to chase you slowly forever and just ask you constantly, like, where is it? And try to find it. It's, I couldn't take it.
the whole, there's just so many things that just tickled me in this movie. The whole scene where he uses the one guy's body to break into the ranger station and smash the case open, and he throws his head at something. Like, I just liked all of that. I felt like this was a fun deconstruction of like an 80s slasher movie.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, the acting is pretty bad, but you know what? You're not supposed to give a fuck about any of those characters. And in this movie, you don't give a fuck about these characters. You know nothing about the final girl at all. And it's fine. You don't have to know anything about it.
But I shouldn't hate them, John. Should I? Like, I watched all those slashers.
Sometimes you should.
There's usually at least the final girl that you want to care about to get to the end of the movie. There's an arc to that.
I do guess, but I also kind of think that there's the part of you, like, the movie starts with them doing the thing they're not supposed to be doing, and it starts with them, no, don't take that,
right.
Like, and someone believes in the lore, and someone's being reasonable, and the other person's like, oh fuck it, that's a dumb story. So there's almost a part of it where you're almost like, I just want to see this guy kill all these fucking people. Like, I would not have been, again, the spoiler thing, if the movie had ended differently than it did, I would have still been fine with it.
Right. Yeah, and again, I don't want to go too hard on the end. I don't want to spoil this too much for people, but the ending didn't work for me at all. Like the whole, what she does before she takes off, and then the whole being picked up by the woman, like all of that didn't work for me. I thought it was very dragged out. I thought it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know.
I liked it, but I agree that from the time you last see him to the time that she's in the woods and then picked, it seems like 15 minutes when it should have been maybe 8. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to call back anything, like the ending of those like sleepaway camp movies, they end kind of almost similarly out in the road, escaping the woods and all those things. It ends very quickly, and what the hell is going to happen. You like those a lot more. Oh, at least I do.
I'll tell you, though, I did enjoy the last scene like John did. But it was funny because as she's running through the woods, like, you would have thought she ran at least 3 miles. But in the background, did you guys notice, like, you still hear, like, hacking in the background? Like, he's still, like, chopping that dude up?
He's beat. Yes. Yeah. I wasn't sure
how close he was to her, right? Like,
I wasn't sure if that was in her head. Like, she was, like, so
they do
afraid of it.
That way, yeah.
Or if he was, because that hacking scene was fucking hilarious, because people joke around about like the Jason and the sleeping bag scene. he pummels that one guy for a good 3 minutes
It's a
as
lot.
other things are happening.
Yeah.
And you just hear it getting sloppier and squishier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part
Yeah.
made me laugh because I was like, what was your plan? Like, you laid it out, but I don't think your plan
Yeah.
was like, get right behind me, like, hey, what? And like,
Yeah.
that shit made me laugh so hard.
It was funny.
I guess that's what makes me a little weird about this movie is like it tries to be subversive. It tries to be almost like, especially with a Sundance entry and trying to be like almost indie horror-ish stuff. But then it also just almost plays things way over the top to where it's like hilarious or very weird, like, you know, carrying the guy by his jaw and, you know, like, or his half head and like all these like really, really over the top gory kills. Like, I don't know, like tonally, I thought it was very much all over the map.
And I appreciated that because from the trailers and early word about this movie, I had heard like, oh, there's like 10-minute long scenes of him walking through the woods, and that wasn't true.
No.
And I also expected it to be very dry
Mm-hmm.
and very like, even though it wasn't like an A24 movie, like
Right.
this is the thinking man slasher movie. And you know what? To my great like surprise,
No.
it was not.
No.
It was a fun, stupid kids getting murdered one by one in crazy ways. And that's what I enjoyed about it, was it subverted my expectation based on what because I thought when I first saw the trailer, like I thought, you know, oh, they're trying to make a real slasher. Like
Right.
I didn't even know there was a supernatural element to it, you know, and then you get right into it and it's like, ooh, he's rose from the grave after 70. And right then I was like, this is going to rock.
Yeah.
And I did. I don't think it was great, but I enjoyed it heavily.
I think that's really what it is, John. I think that's what I'm hearing from all of us. It's either if you're just bought in, you know, from the get, like in what this is or whatever, and just let it rock. I could see people, you know, enjoying this and for however it is. It's just interesting that especially like the critical reviews are exactly what you're saying it wasn't, John, but like it seems like that's what they liked about it. They like the whole subversion. They like the whole that it's a deconstruction or that it plays with the different voyeuristic look at it and everything else. It's like, no, that's not what this movie is. And like you're giving it way too much credit. And that's where I'm like, all right. And like I came and watched this movie and go, I don't know what that guy would do next that would be like, okay, that makes sense.
Right. It's a standard slasher movie where the point of view is taken from the killer. That's it.
Yeah. Normally we kind of give grades on this. I think I saw your grade, John. If you're doing out of 5 stars, I believe
3.5.
3.5. Yeah. So Shane, where are you?
I gave it a 2.5. I'm right in the middle. Yep.
I'm at best of 2. Like I really hated long stretches of this movie. So like I think for the kills alone, it'll elevate to probably like a 2. Because I hated so much of the people there. I just couldn't handle it for after a while.
I even though it was at home, I sat through Roadhouse 2024 this year, so
that is also a 2 at best.
I could oh that's a 1 at best.
Yeah.
I could sit through this movie without hating stretches of it.
Yeah. No, it's fair. Yeah. And again, I guess it's all about the barometer, you know, what you're going in with and how you're feeling about it. So good job by everybody there. Let's continue with the theater aspect of this. John, you also saw The Strangers Chapter 1, and I was curious to see like kind of it's getting such poor reviews for you know, and again, they did that lukewarm sequel that nobody watched, and then but the original it seems like everybody is just on board that it's like, yeah, that's like one of the better horror movies of the last, you know, what was it, 15, 20 years ago or whatever. And at least it like surprised people how good it was. Especially when like the stars are like Liv Tyler, you know, it's like it wasn't like this big, huge movie that like surprised everybody in that way, or excuse me, it wasn't like pushed to everybody. It kind of came out as a surprise. So this one is getting like, I think it has like a 5 out of 10 on IMDb. Like people seem to hate this pretty much. Is it worthy of the hate, John?
Yeah, I mean so here's the thing, right? I did this one with our friend So Wizard, and we talked about it pretty heavily. But here's the truth. Everything this movie does well, if you had never seen The Strangers before, you might go, oh, I liked how they ended it. I like this scene. I like that scene. I like this.
Yeah.
But everything it does well is only based on The Strangers.
Right.
Which did it better.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole confusing bit of this is it's a remake, but it's the first of a trilogy. they tried to kind of like get you to buy into the fact that it seems like it's going to be about like who the strangers are, like that matters. That's exactly not the point of the first movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Literally, the strangers title sells it. Like,
Yeah.
This is a fear we all have. I don't fear someone home invading my house in the middle of the night and me finding out it's my next door neighbor.
Right.
I fear anybody home invading my house. If you then told me it's my next door neighbor, that doesn't really like, that's maybe less scary because now I'm like, oh, I know, like I stole gas to mow my lawn from his shed, you know, like
right, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now I know why this fucking dude did this.
Right.
The idea of the strangers is like, oh, random people do random terrible shit to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we did a 5 scale on that. I gave it a 2. There's some good jump scares. The again, just getting right back down to the piggishness of guys podcasting. The lead girl, I can't remember her name, is fucking hot as balls.
Right.
So at least, you know, and just to be fair, the lead actor is a good looking guy.
Sure.
So like it's not like you're looking at 2 Jabba the Hutts like through the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like two 80-year-old people with macaroni salad all over their lips, you know? You get a couple of good looking folks in here. There are some jump scares, but yeah, a lot of the stuff the main characters do are real horror tropey and like completely stupid in the scenario they're in. For example, you know, it's very much like the first movie, right down to the T, where a girl knocks on the door several times and asks if Tamara is there. I think it's Tamara. And, you know, and she's spooking them out. And the guy has to leave for a reason. And the girl who's spooked out by this girl goes and takes a shower.
Right.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah. I'm super vulnerable in this cabin. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. In this one, it's a Airbnb.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go get like completely naked, which is the most like the most like, what is that? Like, you know, vulnerable you could be anyways.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so it's to me, it was not worth going to see. Funnily enough though, and mostly because I have like the AMC A-Stubs thing or whatever they call it.
A-list.
Like
yeah.
The second one comes out later this year. If I have time, I will go see it.
Is that true? They're doing these back to back in the same year. I was so ill-informed on these.
The second one I think comes out at the end of the year, and then the third one I don't think they've announced yet. But these are made by Rennie Harlan as well.
Interesting.
Yes, and he filmed all 3 Lord of the Rings style
right
at the same time. So I think 2 comes out like in October for Halloween, and then 3 I think is some point next year. But like I'll go. Yeah. I'll go because you know they've got, when they introduce this element of who the strangers are, I don't care. But again, I have the free movie tickets, and you know, I'm enough of a glutton for punishment to go check it out.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I kind of want to look now that you mention it, especially if they're gonna continue all of this. I really want to say it seems like it's been bombing. Am I wrong? Has anyone seen like the last totals on this thing?
I haven't, but I can't imagine it's doing well. Like, I went on the open. I went the Thursday night of like the open because So Wizard asked me to do it, and I have to get out to the movies when I can, and it was like fucking empty. There weren't many people there, and you know, again, I know it's a horror movie, Thursday night. You know, you think maybe some people will pop in there. It was not.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they had any real names attached to this one. It was kind of trying to rely, quote unquote, on the franchise tag, I guess, of all of this. It made $32 million. I don't know if that's enough to do anything, but I don't know how cheaply they made these either.
And they made them all at the same time, so it's not a case of like Dune where it's like they had to see how Dune Part 1 did to say whether there's going to be a 2 or not.
Right.
Like they're sitting on 2 more movies, so either they're going to release them or they're going to do Batgirl and like throw them away, which I doubt.
Yeah,
you know, they might go they might go right to Redbox, but
yes. Do you have the last Redbox in your house? Because I think they're I don't think they're together anymore. Yeah, I think somebody bought them out and then immediately it like died on the vine.
There's a Redbox outside of the Walgreens I go to in my town.
Is there really?
I haven't used it since probably 2016 or something, but it's still there. It's still full. It still's got the like newest releases are still on it. Yeah.
I was upset because they got rid of I was using it, especially like in pandemic times. It was like perfect to be like, oh, just drive down to Stop and Shop and rent something for like $1.50 and just run right back to my house, you know. it was no big deal. But yeah, now there's none around me. Zero.
If you're ever in Wallingford, CT, Walgreens, it's right out there.
Yeah.
Right out there.
Are you right next to Milford Haven, which I saw as like a nod to like, is In a Violent Nature shot in Connecticut? Because it seemed like they kind of winking knowingly took a bunch of our town names.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but it might be a nod towards Friday the 13th because
Camp Crystal Lake being in Connecticut.
Yeah, the second movie was filmed partially in Waterbury and Kent, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah, maybe that would be a good one. Good pull on that. Shane, you and I caught the First Omen because it's now on Hulu. This movie, I kept saying I was going to go see it in the theater, but every time I think about going to, I was like, it has the same plot line as Immaculate, and I just watched Immaculate. Like, they literally came out within a week of each other, right? Something like that. It was something really close.
Same month. Yeah, same month.
Yeah, and I was just like, I just can't bring myself to do it. But once I saw it was on Hulu, I was all over it. I was like, this has been getting good reviews. And what did you think about it once you got to dial it up this weekend?
Yeah, I was not looking forward to this movie, just to be transparent, because I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to see this in the theater, right?
Right.
But like you, I saw it on Hulu. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Plus, it got all kinds of positive reviews by the critics on Rotten Tomato. And then I'm like, thank God I didn't see this in the theater. Thank God. This movie's not totally terrible. I'll just say that off the bat. It had some good scenes in it, but I'm a huge fan of The First Omen. As a kid, that movie scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Just one of my top horror films of all time. And this movie did little to nothing for me. It was too slow paced. You kind of find out the turn, I guess you want to call it. It's pretty obvious where it's going, right? So this, there's not a lot for me to say about this movie, man. I didn't like. They had some big time actors in this movie, or names in this movie, I guess.
Bill Nye.
Yeah, and you had some like freaky looking shots, like the hand coming out of the vagina. That like was like, whoa, okay, they went there. Okay.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah,
there's like a demon hand that comes out of a vagina. It's very graphic. It's
wow. I was like, wow, they went there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But outside of that, like I kept thinking about Immaculate. I'm like, well, this one doesn't have Sweeney in it, so like I'm kind of out. Like there's no hot nuns in this one. And what
so you like this less than Immaculate?
I did.
Interesting.
And what it lacked, and I kept thinking about the First Omen movie, like not the first, but the Omen.
Yeah.
Was the score of the Omen was so just. It grabs you, man, and it like builds that tension and gets something. Like, I gets you scared. This one just didn't have the score. It didn't have the scares. It was too predictable. Yeah, so that's where it kind of fell for me, man. It just kind of fell flat.
Yeah, I like this a little bit more than Immaculate.
How dare you?
I'm kind of on the same, like not by a huge stretch. It does have its issues. It is a little predictable, and it does. If you want to say where it suffers, unfortunately, it's because it suffers from prequel disease, because we know where it has to lead in some regard. And honestly, for how many people are like, well, this is like a very similar plot line to Immaculate, even just by hearing those words, you're like, well, I guess we know how that's going to all transpire too. So between the two, the predictability was almost guaranteed,
right?
Going into it. But I thought the actual craft, like how well they did things, how well they integrated certain scariness about it. I thought it had more actual scariness to it. I didn't think Immaculate was very scary. It was mostly just like, it was almost like a whodunit, like a little bit, and they tried to hold off on who's doing what. This one, it actually made a lot more sense, and they put in the work to actually show like where things are going, the two types of the two churches or versions of the church, and all those explanations, and a priest trying to like get in and stop it and working with it, and then also trying to play with who's gonna be Damien's mother, as it kind of worked around too. I thought like those things were more effective than most things in Immaculate. Immaculate like had just better vibes and a better, more like tone to it. This one I thought had better like story structure and a lot of more scares and a lot more, I don't know, just it seemed like it even had like more money put into it too, because it seemed to have a lot more tactile things, scary thing, like it just had more to it. It's just interesting that they're both set in a convent in Rome. They're both have a person called there for, you know, seemingly normal reasons, and then obviously it goes off the rail. So it is very similar.
Yeah, I just thought Immaculate did a better job of giving that claustrophobic feel of her just being confined in that convent and not being able to leave, and why. It just kept me guessing more throughout that movie. But you're right. Like, the First Omen was a better crafted, as I'll say, produced, made movie than Immaculate. But I just feel like Immaculate did a better job of giving you that eerie, atmospheric feel to it than the First Omen did. That's where I kind of like made that divide between the two movies.
So to me, the big thing is like the William Goldman thing, right? Where he always says, like, you know, if you end a movie well, then you're going to remember it well. And you could have had all kinds of mistakes. But if you fuck up the ending, or if you disappoint people in the end, that's going to linger with people more and color the rest of whatever maybe you did well before that. And I think that's the difference a little bit between these two movies. I think the ending was a lot more intense with the First Omen and had a lot more to work with. And honestly, the most disappointing part for me of Immaculate is that, like, you know, we off screen see her just kind of like drop a demon baby somewhere, hearing some like, fucking pig noises or whatever, like, you know, after she gives it off birth off screen, standing up practically, and it's like that's the end of the movie. This movie really just goes for it, and I appreciate it for it.
Yeah, I will agree with you there. Like, I thought the ending was better executed for this movie. So, like, it's not a huge difference for me. And I do like how it led right into the Omen. Like, I thought that was a cool tie to Gregory Peck's character, and you get a better understanding of, like, what happened and whatever. I did enjoy that. I did. I kind of didn't need the end where that priest father comes back. I don't want to spoil it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I thought that was unnecessary, you know. But other than that, I don't know, man. I'm just glad I didn't see this in the theater. I would have been a little disappointed if I would have seen this in the theater. I'm glad I saw it on Hulu, though.
What do you think of the lead, Nell Tiger Free? I hadn't seen her in much. I hear like she's really good in Servant, the M. Night produced show for Apple TV, and she, you know, I think I saw her in something else besides that, but I was actually really impressed with her. She has like very good presence.
No, she was fine. She wasn't the problem with the movie. Like, I thought she did a great job. She's no Sydney Sweeney, but you know, she
most aren't.
She was really good as the lead actress here. She emoted enough emotion, and you really felt for her. She carried a lot of the scenes because she had to. But she wasn't the problem. I just felt like it was a little slow paced. Yeah, I just had issues with the score, and just it didn't give me that eerie, made my skin crawl kind of.
Oh yeah, that movie. Omen score is insanely good, and like it comes on the heels of kind of like, you know, like The Exorcist kicked it off of like these intense, really amazing scores in thrillers, you know, as opposed to like these like schlockier stuff of horror in the past, you know, like The Exorcist and Halloween and all these ones that like just made the most iconic killer scores, and then it was up to everybody else to just kind of try to keep up.
And I guess I was expecting like more stuff to happen around her, you know, because as the father said, they were like, you know, that presence is with you and blah blah blah. Some shit's gonna happen. Like in the first Omen movie, you had like the nuns like, we're doing this for you, Damien. Like there was that that like he had the dogs would do shit for him, and like the guy got hit by the car, and it's like, okay, like I don't know, man, like there just wasn't enough going on around her, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
There was also a part in this movie where I almost threw up.
Outside the vagina part.
Well, what, like the demon hand coming through the vagina part?
Yeah.
I was fine with that, weirdly enough. It was like, it caught me off guard.
Weird.
It was kind of cool. It is very odd. And then when she passed out, I was like, same. But like, no, at the end, I don't want to spoil it too much, but like when they took not just the baby out, but like the whole womb.
Oh yeah.
And I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? So that was alarming.
Yeah, they go
to
in with
watch.
some of the effects. I just wish there was more of that sprinkled through the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like they probably had a great medical staff, but needed a better composer. It's like that's what I'm hearing from you. Maybe.
No, I'm just saying, like, just the like the hand, like the whole womb thing. Like, I wanted
Yeah.
more of that, like more crazy shit going on in this movie.
They had a couple of pretty good jump scares too. And then I thought like the stuff they did in the bar, especially when they showed it in retrospect and stuff, like her
Yeah.
kind of changing a little bit. I was like, this is pretty intense. It was pretty good. So I don't know. I'm probably not that much higher than you, but I think this is worthy of the 3.5 that's kind of getting around these parts.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I gave it a 2.5.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I gave Immaculate a 3 on the whole Andrew scoring system. Like, if I had to
Right.
grade the two movies side by side, I gave Immaculate a 3. I'm giving this one a 2.5.
Actually, I take that back. I gave it a 3. I'm an
Okay.
ass. So yeah. No, we're closer than I thought.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because I put it right below, like, as far as like, I don't want to give for the rest of it, but it's one of the higher horror movies of the year, but not the highest.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought I did a good job. So we have a couple of ones that, like, if you're looking to watch something at home that isn't the First Omen, that maybe is on PVOD, something else you to check out, maybe Shudder or anywhere else. John, you and I both caught Infected, which is essentially it's a French horror film.
Infested.
Jesus, I did it again.
Oops, you did it again.
I know. God damn it. Yeah, Infested, obviously, for the obvious reasons of this is a spider-laden horror movie where it just takes over a kind of, I don't know, how would you characterize the apartment? They kind of make it seem like they live in the slums a little bit.
It's like the French slums, but even the French slums
it's like way better than us.
is the coolest building I've ever seen in my life.
Yes,
it's shaped like a quarter. Yeah,
it almost
it's
has
round.
like a beehive look to it. Like it has like the segmentations to it. It's very cool looking.
Yeah. It's definitely So yeah, it's supposed to be kind of like this, someone described it this way. I'm not going to take credit for this, but you know what this movie reminded me of? It's Attack the Block with spiders.
Yeah, except obviously Attack the Block is supposed to be more like not goofy, like intentionally funny, like a lighter atmosphere.
Right.
This one, I don't know. I appreciated that they tried to put more layers into this than, hey, guy takes on a spider, the spider gets out, everybody's fucked.
Right. Yeah, this is like Gremlins in the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Like batteries not included, or yeah, it's like because I'm just going with the apartment theme. But yeah, so it is that, but it also tries to be like, somebody dealing with loss, friends reconnecting. They have like all these and like sister and brother kind of estranged, and like all these things kind of going into it that kind of add to the flavor. And obviously the haves and the have-nots with how the police treat the situation and what type of building they are. So they do enough to like up its game a little bit, but really it is just like, damn, fucking spiders just make me crawl. Just like like there were scenes that I was just like, how like you weren't itching and then all of a sudden you're itching and you're now like, I'm gonna die because a spider bit me in the arm. Instead, like nothing happened, or it's like a crumb because you stupidly ate snacks while you're watching a spider movie. Just speaking hypothetically, not what I did to the T. But yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, just itchy, hearing noises. It was that kind of like paranoia watching this, even though I think you said it even on your Letterboxd thing. I do miss the very like practical effects, tactileness of like an arachnophobia and some of the older movies than relying on like a lot of CGI. They do a little bit of a blend, or at least like a better blend than like this is just some cheap piece of shit. But like, I do miss having it be like real spiders in some sense.
A podcaster that I respect a lot, Paul Prezalta from The Countdown down in Australia, hate spiders, and he did a letter. I follow him on Letterboxd, and his Letterboxd review was either 4.5 or 5 stars, and he was like, "This is like the best horror movie I've seen in like 10 years." And I'm paraphrasing, but he was really high on it.
Right.
So I went into this with some incredible expectations because I generally tend to understand his opinions or side with them.
Yeah.
I thought this was a fine movie.
Yeah.
I thought it definitely, it gave you the spider itchies, like you said, and it had good moments in it. But like for me, it's arachnophobia all day long. Like arachnophobia just works for me better. And it also, arachnophobia also kind of delves into like that humorous aspect a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
So I think I went into this really excited because somebody I know that I take their opinion seriously really hyped it up. But in the end, I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah.
I know that there were multiple Spider movies this year. There was another one called Sting, which I didn't see.
That was on my list too. I didn't get to it. Yeah.
Didn't see that one. And I don't know if it's coming, but I know that they're remaking Arachnophobia. I just don't know if it's this year or next year.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, that's a shame.
Yeah. So, but again, like you mentioned, unfortunately we're in a time and a place where CGI is just the norm.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, even after, let's say 30 plus years of CGI, if you want to go back to like Abyss or T2,
right,
they still haven't perfected it. And there are still times where it takes me out of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I did enjoy this movie. I did think it was fun. It's a better Shudder original.
Yes.
But it wasn't like wholly memorable to me. Like a couple of years from now, if I were to watch it again, I wouldn't remember anything that happened in it for the most part.
Yeah, I'll just remember how it made me feel with the spider stuff because I have a thing with spiders. Like spiders and rats are not good. I am Indiana Jones. I'm all that where I have the same thing where, there's scenes where it's like, oh, they hit open a wall and note or like peek through, like a vent or something and just see like the whole collection. I'm out. I'm just I'm jumping out of the window because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just completely out. But yeah, that I wish they showed more of the outside of that building before they show it at the end, because I feel like I didn't get a great view of how the breadth and scope of that building for them to be like, when they're talking about like, oh, we have to climb 15 flights of stairs or to get to the roof and do this. I didn't have a great sense of scope with the movie when they were doing that. But
yeah, well, it's a quarter shaped building. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
I will remember that about this movie forever.
Yes,
I'll be like,
the architecture. Yeah, fuck the spiders. See the architecture. That's
I'll be like, yeah,
John on the poster. Yeah,
this French architecture is incredible.
Yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's solid.
I think I'm 3. Solid.
Yeah.
Good time. Good spider scares. Other than that, I'll watch Arachnophobia before this.
Yeah. Before we get to Shane's film, is there any other ones you've seen this year that you can recommend, what you would put out that we haven't talked about today?
So from 2024, let's see, I'm looking here. Abigail. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah, we covered that one. Yeah,
I enjoyed that. I thought the third act got a little bit it kind of started like characters double crossing each other and stuff. But the general idea, that's a movie that the marketing failed it because all the marketing told you it's like they've kidnapped Dracula's daughter.
Yeah,
and if they didn't tell you that, it would have been better.
Yeah,
but I like the girl that played her. I like the little her playing with her food aspect and everything.
Sure,
and I thought it had a solid cast. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Destroy All Neighbors is a weird Shudder original with Jonah. What's the comedian's name who's on
Jonah Ray?
Theater? Jonah Ray.
Yeah.
And Alex Winter from Bill and Ted. Interesting, kind of really crazy practical effects and plot line. Did not equal to a good movie. We talked about. Oh, here's the one that sucked. Imaginary.
Yes.
Imaginary.
Yeah, Shane hated it.
It sucked. I went to see that in the theaters. Initially, So Wizard wanted to have me on to do that. And I was going to go see it for that. And then they had to change their plans because something else they wanted to do came out. So they were like, oh, we're not going to see that. Don't worry about it. And I was like, I'm already going.
Yeah.
I already planned it, so I'm going to go. And yeah, that movie just fucking, it did not work at all. And
Yeah.
and it's funny because like I haven't seen If, but everything I'm hearing is like that's not good either. So it's like two imaginary friend movies in 1 year and they both suck.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing. But Imaginary really sucks.
Yeah.
Like it just did not. The first scene of the movie was intriguing. The first scene of the movie was like this old guy and like escaping from these like imaginary creatures and the little girl, and then it just goes into the plot and it's just people repeating the name Chauncey over and over again.
Yeah.
To the point where I didn't care anymore.
Right.
And then I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but Late Night with the Devil I enjoyed.
Yeah, it's still my favorite horror film of the year so far. Just even for its inventiveness, I think it goes a long way.
I like Das Malchian a lot.
Yeah,
I think he's good. Yeah, and he's really good in this. It's like his first thing I've seen him in a lead in.
Yeah,
and early in the year I saw Founders Day. The Carson and Eric Bloomquist are local directors. Yep. I really enjoyed their last movie. She Came from the Woods. I really like that one a lot.
Right.
This one I had a good time with, but I wasn't as big of a fan of.
Okay.
It's a slasher. It's got some fun moments in it. But I liked She Came from the Woods is like a camp slasher.
Yeah. No, I've seen that one. Yeah.
I had more fun with that. But they put out some good movies. They did one a couple years ago called
I know, the one in the hotel.
That Night of the Eagle Inn, but there was another one where it's the two brothers meeting at the estate and things start to unravel from there.
I don't think I saw that one.
Long Lost, maybe? Long Lost, I think.
Okay.
I enjoyed that quite a bit. That's more of that's not a horror, that's more of like a psychological thriller.
Right.
But that was quite good. So the only one that I could say, Destroy All Neighbors wasn't great, and Imaginary was actively bad.
Yeah. And Strangers you seem to not enjoy where that going. All right, man. Yeah, like Late Night with the Devil is probably still my number one on the board, with Abigail, Last Omen, and Arcadian and Infested. I will say it right this time. Infested being like right there with Immaculate right after that. So like as far as like top films of the years, those are all in my top 19. So like, we're almost halfway through. That's a pretty solid, I guess, start, for them to break out with horror, with The Watchers coming up. What is that, next week, Shane?
This
right?
week.
Yeah, this week. Yeah. And then there's I don't know what Long Legs is supposed to be, but looks fucking terrifying. Or at least it's giving the impression of terrifying.
I want to, is that Nicolas Cage?
Yeah,
in
it
that
is,
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like, it looks like a serial killer thing, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm down for that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a few other horror films coming out that I'm really for. Yeah.
There's another one that I had just seen the trailer for with this one we were talking about, In a Violent Nature. Did you see the trailer for Oddity? With like that, like this woman, and it seems like she inherits a house.
Oh yes, I saw that. Yep.
There's that creepy like statue or mummified thing.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the trailer made no sense. I don't know what the fuck it's about, but when the trailer ended, I said I want to see that. And then there's another one coming with Russell Crowe that looks like it's about the making of The Exorcist.
Sort of. Like, they're making an Exorcist movie, and there's supposed to be like, just things happen.
I might check that out too.
The trailer looks very good, and that's a strong thing to happen, especially when you're talking about he literally comes off doing the Pope's Exorcist, and people were like, really? He's going to do another Exorcist movie? And I felt really bad because this was apparently shot years ago, and they just waited on it, and now like he already did another Exorcist movie, and so it now looks like they're piling on. But
when I saw the trailer start, I said to myself, did that movie do that well? They made a sequel like a year later.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, this Pope's Exorcist is going to be like the new James Bond,
Right. Yeah.
Like in 7 or 8 years, Shane's going to be the next Pope's Exorcist.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, but it looks good, and I feel bad for it, so I'm probably going to see it anyway. Plus, we also have another M. Night Shyamalan before the year's end with that Josh Hartnett serial killer trap.
I might check that one out. I haven't watched his last couple. I didn't watch Knock at the Cabin, or Old. But like And again, like, okay, it's an interesting concept, but like I saw that trailer, and before I knew it was Shyamalan, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Shyamalan, and I went, okay, maybe it's not cool, but I'll still go see it.
He is so up and down with me. I never know, but I always think he's great premise wise. So he's always interesting in some way. So I'm going to check it out.
At the very least, yeah.
For sure. Shane, how about you, man? Like, where are you cooking with number one before you get to your last film here?
Honestly, I was looking through my list. I only have 3 technical horror films I ranked either a 3 or a 3.5, and that would be Immaculate. Actually, I give that a 3.5.
Right.
John, I gave Imaginary a 1.5. By the way,
I probably did too.
That was just terrible. Then I have Founders Day up there. I
gave Imaginary a 1.5 on Letterboxd.
Okay. Oh, Abigail, I gave a 3.5 to, and that's about an Arcadian 3.5. So those are probably my leaders to date so far. Abigail, Arcadian, and Immaculate at all 3.5 right now.
So you're saying the Coffee Table, which is the last movie we have here on the docket, that did not make the cut of anything we're talking about here?
Yeah, I'm going to be talking on both sides of my ass with this review.
Okay.
And I'd like to say, Stephen King can go screw himself, because that's why I rented this movie for $3.99.
Oh, he recommended it? It was one of those?
Yeah, I was like, it was one of the best original stories I've seen in a long time, and it's classified as a comedy/horror film, as I told you. Now, it is centered around a horrific event, and that's the only thing horror related to it. It's more of a drama / not even a thriller. It's a drama. And I won't spoil it in case you want to see. It's a Spanish film, so it's all subtitled.
Right.
You won't recognize any of the cast, but I will say it was well acted, and I thought it was well written. And what it does is, there's a couple, you don't know if they're married or not, but they just had a baby. He's an infant, and they're at this store. This guy wants to buy this horrific looking coffee table. The wife obviously doesn't want it. She's kind of a nag, and they kind of like let that go throughout the whole movie, where she kind of picks and does everything for him in his life. He doesn't get to do anything. He wants his coffee table. He ends up buying it. But it has a great cause and effect once he buys his coffee table. And if you get past like the first part of this movie where the horrific event happens, it does a good job of ratcheting tension throughout the movie. It's a short movie. It's an hour, 25 minutes long. So, John, it's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Because you're like, how the hell is he going to get out of this situation? What is he going to do? His wife's out buying groceries, so he has time to himself to try to like do what he has to do. And it does a great job of doing that tension building.
Right.
And there's also like a 13-year-old neighbor who lives upstairs from him, and she's trying to blackmail him because he wants her to run away with him and leave his girlfriend/wife, who he just had a kid with. That shit was probably the funniest part of the movie. The girl who was trying to get this guy to leave his wife was hysterical. But man, it is such a sour downer of a movie. And I don't want to spoil it because the act is horrific, and it will ruin the movie for you if I tell you.
Right.
But surprisingly, I gave it a 3 out of 5, though I'll never watch it again. Because, again, I liked the writing and the acting and the tension that it built. And it's a very different kind of movie in that aspect, because it's really centered around one object is the centerpiece of the movie.
Right.
And, I'll just say that. But it's not I'm going to skip out of my house and play double dutch after I watch this movie kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's a sour.
Are there any movies that you do that for?
There's a couple in my holster.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
Anything with Jason Statham or Frank Grillo, I leave the house pretty happy. Andy knows that.
Yeah. That's true. It's Shane's happy place.
It's short run time, good storytelling, but the subject matter is very tough and brutal to kind of get around, and you may lose it when you see that happen. But I stuck with it. I'm glad I did, though I'll never see it again. Though it's not a comedy, because I watched or read a bunch of stuff after the movie, right? All these reviews, like, I got a couple big laughs. I'm like, what parts did you fucking laugh at in this movie? Because you need help now if you laughed at certain parts of this movie, because there weren't any in there.
Gotcha.
For $3.99, it was worth the $3.99. But I'm not going to listen to Stephen King's advice again on. This is the best original movie I've seen in a long time, and it was scary. It's not scary, no.
He writes and produces so many, he just probably thought it was his.
I right, exactly.
Yeah,
it would seem his. So yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5 for the coffee table, which you can find on Amazon Prime.
Very nice. All right, awesome, man. Thanks. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Yeah.
Because we're talking about movies later this year that I kind of want to see. Cuckoo. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for Cuckoo.
That's on there too. Yeah.
That is one I want to see. I thought I'd mention it comes out in July. It has Dan
Totally.
Stevens, Jessica Henwick, and all I know is about a girl who goes to this isolated resort because they have to move in there for a while, and the resort's not as it kind of seemed. It looks very fucking creepy and disturbing, and anything that has Dan Stevens in it, a la Abigail, I'm going to watch, man. So
that was also a Sundance movie that got picked up, and looks good.
Cuckoo comes out in July, mid-July.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm in for that one too. And I'm sure, like, we haven't even really seen like what the big October like Halloween movies are, unless they're like just clear to the decks for Beetlejuice. I guess I don't know. So we'll see. But I know there's another horror movie that Netflix picked up that they're gonna put out. I think it's called It Lives Inside. Yes. I want to say that was a Sundance one that got picked up, but of course they picked up a Sundance one last year and it was complete garbage. Run Rabbit Run or whatever it was called, complete trash. So I'm hoping for better stuff. It seemed to get much better reviews coming out of Sundance, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to just listening more of The Pint. Thank you, John, for coming on, buddy. What do you guys got coming up, for your pod and anything else in your own personal, any other appearances you got going on? What do you got going on there?
Nothing appearance-wise I can think of, but on the show, this week we are putting our 336th episode out. Woo. So we're moving towards 350, and our 350th episode is gonna be a big baller. We're gonna be completing a long running and I guess standing in joke in the show. My old podcasting partner Sir John, who left the Pint probably around 150 or a long time ago. And he still runs Pint of Comics, a great radio show on WESUFM.org on Sunday nights. We've had a joke about the movie Speed 2 for many, many years. And me and Lloyd saw John recently on Free Comic Book Day. And we discussed it. And John's going to make his return to the show to do an episode speaking about Speed 2 Cruise Control. we're finally going to just talk about this fucking movie that has kind of lived on in infamy in the Pint. The Pint's been running 7 years. I haven't seen Speed 2 Cruise Control since probably 4 years before the Pint ever began.
I believe you mentioned you have it on DVD though, right?
I do. The ongoing joke with that movie was, I've known John for over 20 years, is that we had a conversation about it one time in a comic book shop discussing movies. And all I said was, yeah, Speed 2 wasn't that bad. And he has humped me with that joke, with that reference for years and years and years.
Awesome.
And we used to talk about doing it, and it never happened, and he left the show, and then we just said, well, let's have John back on for our 350th, and let's do that.
Right.
Nice.
And other than that, in June, we just recorded tonight. Our first episode of June is our Pride Month special. We did Brokeback Mountain, which is a movie I had never seen before. Yeah. We're doing, as voted by our Pint Insiders on Patreon, next week, I believe, or the week after, we're doing the Robert Rodriguez film Desperado.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
And we'll be doing a couple other things through the course of June as well. And just going through and having a good time this summer, as we always try.
Very good.
That's great, man. And you always do a great job here. We appreciate it. If anybody loved John here, and why wouldn't you, go back and listen to we did a draft episode with you as well.
Oh,
right?
A couple,
right? Yeah. So, if you want more John and more John for here, and you haven't listened to those, go back and check out those. They're very evergreen. I forgot what years we did. I want to say like 98 or, one of those kind of like.
One of them was last year, and it was definitely 93.
93. Okay. Yeah.
It was definitely 93, and then I think 98.
Yeah.
I think 98, because I think someone gave me shit for not picking Austin Powers 97, 98.
Right.
So one of my friends was like, I picked something, I tried to play strategically and pick something that I knew would get good votes,
right,
but might not have been the most popular thing. And I think I left Austin Powers on the board, and maybe Stu or one of my friends was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm like, I won. Yeah. I won that one, I think. It was after.
I think you won the 93 one because you picked the
You won them all.
Sandlot
I
of
think
all
you won them
things.
both. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think
I
so,
think I
too.
won both.
Yeah,
You won both.
Yeah. And then I'm sure probably Stu beat us when Stu came on for the other one for, I think it was, best of 2023 draft we did with him. So, yeah, we're just big losers here. So we always appreciate it. We can get a big winner to come on with us at any point. So thanks again, John.
Thank you.
Tell the people where they can get the pint, all your social, all that stuff.
At the Pint Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. That's where you'll find us the most. We don't have in Twitter or X anymore. We have
Good
a
call.
Threads that's also the same thing, but that's
Is
like
it though?
Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't love that one. But if you have any podcatchers, just the Pint, a pop culture podcast. And if you like us enough and you enjoy us, we have a Patreon. Go to Patreon/The Pint, and there's 2 tiers. $2.50 a month gets you normally 2 full-length episodes extra that the regular listeners don't get. And then for $4 a month, you get those 2 same episodes plus a live stream once a month.
Ooh, very nice. And those live streams are always great, man. Like, you guys have been doing them, for free before all the Patreon stuff forever, doing all the, the Friday the 13th series, the Nightmare series, all these things that have been fun to interact with over the years. So I'm sure even the private dancer version is, I'm sure, even better. So, or more gratifying,
it's a good time.
Toss your money
It's
down.
gratifying.
Yeah. Thanks again, John. For us, go out there, tell a friend, subscribe. You don't want to miss. Obviously, we talked about how much great horror's coming out for the rest of the year. The Watchers is probably something we're going to look forward to for this upcoming week. Also, if you are out there and it's playing near you, Hitman will be my review for what's on Netflix.com this week. That is the new Glenn Powell movie, directed by Richard Linklater. So, great combination. I saw it in theaters. Definitely recommend it to watch. So go out and do that, and then check my review later on this week. And of course, find us on the socials at Recent Act Pod, and be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.